lots of spoilers ahead. Lots. Okay, cool. I'm going to be ranking all of Sarah J Maas's books, and I just came out with a video talking about how much I've grown as a reader and how I have an opinion and my tastes have been refined. She could come out with a whole book worth of dumpster fire and I would still love it. I do think that's a character flaw of mine, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And I think this tier will kind of help me out and really piece together what my favorite Sarah J Maas books are versus some of my least favorite Sarah J Maas books. If you've read Sarah J Maas and you feel the same way that I do, it's really hard to let go of some of these characters and these worlds. Even if like sometimes the quality of writing isn't the absolute best, whatever, I still enjoy her books. So let's talk about the categories of this tier ranking list. Okay, so I'm gonna start at Altered My Brain Chemistry, because for real, a lot of her books I just think changed the way I read, especially when I annotated her whole series. Then we have Has Me in a Chokehold, because I still absolutely love it. Now, The Middle, because we're representing ACOTAR around here. The Middle is where all of those weird creatures go. A middle tier book, that's exactly what. It's like, I don't know what that is, but I mean, I guess I still recommend it. Then I'd Rather Not, but it's still essential. I'd rather not reread it, but I still recommend it because it matters to the plot. Then we have The Prison. If I'm being completely honest, I don't really have any like 1-star Sarah J Maas books. So this is really hypothetical and we're going based off of my enjoyment, even if the book itself, like all of them I loved, okay? Throne of Glass, this is my favorite series from Sarah J Maas, but I do think the first book, and I've talked to a lot of people about the first book, especially when making a recommendation where I'm like, you should read Throne of Glass. And when they go to read Throne of Glass, they're like, Maddie, that first book was trash. And actually, I kind of agree. She did write this series really, really young. I take it with a grain of salt. I think it's a good starter book. I would say Rather Not, but it's still like essential. Like you have to read it to get to the other books. I don't know, you have to read it. And then we have A Court of Wings and Ruin. You know, I'm gonna get hate for this one. I didn't love this one as much. For me, A Court of Mist and Fury is a little bit better. I'm gonna say this one's in the middle because the characters are still in it. I still really love it. There's a lot more politics going on, so I do think the plot kind of picks up, but it's different. Now let's talk about Empire of Storms. Ooh, okay. This one makes me so mad at the end. Like because I love Tower of Dawn, but when you end on a big cliffhanger like Empire of Storms does, insane. It's insane. I'm gonna say Has Me in a Chokehold. The way that that one ends and how emotional it is really does have me in a chokehold. Like I can't escape, I can't stop thinking about it. And the lead up, it is a slower build up. That whole book is slow, 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 slow until it slaps you in the face at the end. Or rather, it puts you in a chokehold and then doesn't let go. Crescent City 1. Oh man, I love Crescent City and no one can change my opinion on that. It's very different. It's very modern, almost dystopian feeling rather than like high fantasy. I would say The Middle because again, it doesn't really have me in a chokehold, and even though that I love the series, out of the 3 main series from Sarah J Maas, this one's not my favorite. And I think it has a strong start because you're hooked from what happens at the very beginning, but a lot happens. Like the info dump is nuts in that one. Tower of Dawn. People give so much hate to this book. I love this book, but oof, this is hard. Let me explain this one. I'd rather not, but it's still essential because so much happens that ties back into the last book that is so important. But the setting of this one, the more like desert feel, and there were a few point of views that I just didn't love. So I would say like I'd rather not, but like it's still essential. I still love it. It's so good. It's a really underrated book of hers, if I'm being honest. A Court of Silver Flames. I'm gonna say Altered My Brain Chemistry. I fucking love Nesta. A Court of Silver Flames could be my favorite ACOTAR book. It could be. I need to think about it. We'll come back to that. It altered my brain chemistry because of Nesta's character development. Forget the spice in this one. Like I could kind of care less about the spice if I'm being honest, but her character development represented through the stairs and her training and what she becomes at the end of it. During my reread, I got a new sense of love for Nesta. So A Court of Thorns and Roses. Kind of like Throne of Glass. I'm gonna say The Prison. Sorry. I'm only saying The Prison because it's the first book in a series, so it's definitely not the best one. I did not like the riddle at the end. I thought it was so cliche about the whole love thing. Like, cliche is cliche for a reason, and I appreciate cliche things. I did not love the end of that. I do think Feyre is a little like ungrateful for being taken into this Fey world, because I wish it was me. The next one, House of Sky and Breath. This one, I gave it 4.5 stars. I'm gonna say The Prison. The amount of POVs, I get the ending. I get the ending is like mind-blowing, but the build-up is so chaotic, so hectic, even though that I loved it. Okay, we can love something and appreciate the flaws that it has. You're getting whiplash the whole time. Queen of Shadows has me in a chokehold. I don't have much to say about that one. I feel like it's really putting all of the like cadre together, and you just see Aelin scheming, and I think Aelin scheming is the best part of that whole series. A Court of Frost and Starlight, I'd rather not, but it's essential. There are some big foreshadowing elements in that book, like the Ramiel, like the mountain, some of the gifts that were given. What was the big one? Forgot. There were some other things in there that I was like, wow, I did not pick up on that the first time around. We're on Crown of Midnight. Prison, I mean, come on. Chaol's the worst. I hate Chaol. Just kidding. He has some redeeming factors towards the end. Did not like Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. Like, both of those were not that good to me. It really picks up during Heir of Fire. The Assassin's Blade, don't hate me. I'm putting it in the middle. Like, I feel like a lot of people would be like, that has me in a chokehold, or that's like my favorite book of the whole series. I love Sam, but come on, it can't be your favorite book. Like, adore Sam so much, and it's such a sweet book. You do kind of see Selena in the beginning stages and like of her build up for the rest of the series. There are a lot of other better books. They're novellas too. Heir of Fire altered my brain chemistry because this is when we meet Rowan. To whatever end, adored the like training aspect of this book. It's really the start. This is like when you really get hooked in this series, because you meet Rowan and because things are going on. The end of the book when she's like heading back and Rowan stays there in Windland and you're like, no, like everything just mashes up so perfectly. This is when I really fell in love with the series. We've got 3 more books. Let's do A Court of Mist and Fury. This one also altered my brain chemistry. I think we all know why. Like, so much happens in this one. Chapters 53 through 57 are some of my favorite chapters that I've ever read before. When Rhys is telling his POV and so many things are uncovered and we find out like, I've been looking for you. Wow, I will find no other characters like these. So it kind of ruined reading for me. Kingdom of Ash, I'm also gonna put in altered my brain chemistry. Oops. Because we all know why. Organize it, it would be right here. Like this one would be first. The way I felt after this book was like no other. The beginning of it, when Aelin is trapped, then they find her, and then so much happens with her and Fenris. So many plot points that could tie into future books as well. My all-time favorite book. Could literally get emotional just thinking about it. Now, I saved this one for last, House of Flame and Shadow, because it recently just came out and I read it, and there's a lot of controversy on this one because it wasn't what people expected. I understand that, you know, we all have our own opinion and it's really tough to share a love for a series with millions and millions of people, but then to hear people talk crap about it because they don't like it, it really hurts. I loved this book for what it was. I went to the midnight release with some friends. I have a whole vlog out on it now. It was Bryce's book. She thought she knew what she was doing and she had to do what she was gonna do. I'm gonna say the middle. I genuinely loved this book, but I see where the flaws are, but I also see where the potential is for future books. I feel like this book is the Tower of Dawn of Crescent City. Let's look at my list. This makes a lot of sense in my head. This is matching up. Let's go over it. Alter my brain chemistry. There's 4 books there. Let's organize based off that, and I'm gonna do this really quick. So Kingdom of Ash, Court of Mist and Fury. Yeah, that's good right there. Kingdom of Ash, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Silver Flames, and Heir of Fire. Out of these 2, Empire of Storms comes first for sure, then Queen of Shadows. What's the middle book? A Court of Wings and Ruin, Crescent City. No, House of Flame and Shadow, Crescent City, then Assassin's Blade, then Tower of Dawn, then A Court of Frost and Starlight, then Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass is my favorite series of all time, but that book was just not, you know? House of Sky and Breath, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and then Crown of Midnight. That makes a lot of sense. I think that's a pretty good list right there. This is all my opinion. So if you disagree or if you agree, please let me know in the comments below. I just wanted to pop on and do like a little fun video. Like, I don't take this stuff seriously at all. Also, my Etsy shop is linked down below, Fireheart Embroidery. I'm so excited for future Sarah J Maas books. I feel like we're just in the beginning stages of what she can do and what she's going to do. All of my social media is linked down below. I'm gonna go get a snack because I'm hungry. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. It means so much to me, your support, and I will see you guys in the next video.